Hi everyone, welcome to this video where I'm basically working on this BMW 1 Series. Basically going to be looking at changing over the cluster LEDs. So as you all know, with BMWs, majority of the time they always come with the orange glow on the LEDs for the actual cluster, and we're going to look at changing that over to a white one. So it should be a little bit of fun. I'm going to also be doing ambient lighting to this car, so the interior is going to feel very different once this car is all finished up. The owner has actually bought their own ambient lighting, but it's pretty much the same ones as the one that I would normally use. The speakers are just a little bit different. So if we come over to look at the car, obviously we've got these little red things added on all around, so I'm going to look at removing these. So yeah, these are the little plastic things that people can add on nice and easy. For a very simple cost, this actually does change the interior up quite nicely, but yeah, it's going to look completely different once we get all the ambient lighting done and the cluster change and stuff. So first step is going to be removing the cluster, and then we're going to look at changing over the LEDs for that and then doing all of the ambient lighting. Take out the cluster, bring this as far forward as you can, T20, and just get this. Once both screws have been removed, literally just get a trim removal tool, just prise it up from the top, and that is it. It has been basically disconnected and out. And now we've just got a clip at the far back. This clip is super awkward to get off. Right, that is the cluster removed. That wiring was on there super tight, but yeah, cluster's out. Time to get this over to the bench. So I actually think someone has previously been here. The screws that hold on the back of this is no longer here, and I noticed a little bit of damage on the clip just here as well, which I'm hoping you guys, yeah, it's a little bit of damage just there, but regardless of all of that, we will persevere. So we just need to basically bit by bit unsecure this other section. So just go around the whole cluster, just unclipping parts as you can. It's alright. So now we've just got to gently take off the face of this. There you go. So that is part one, and we're done. I'm joking. So from here now, we've just got to basically dismantle everything bit by bit. So we've got to take off these guys. You want to make sure you take these off at 0 and put them back on at 0, because otherwise it can get a bit tricky with realigning it all. So it's a bit of a funny one. Just take your time with it. I'm just going to get a couple of tools to help pick these up. I got this old IKEA mat out. I thought it would look better for the video. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Right by 0, you'll see how they feel. Okay, so make a note. This is the lowest point this will go. So you can spin all the way up to here, but that's harder to tell. So right underneath here, so right at the top of this line is where the bottom of that is. Same here, and with this, it just goes above that. So now we know where the rock bottom is of this. When we are using the dials, if we do get them in slightly wrong place, we'll know roughly where to go back to for it. Because it's all about aligning these back, because even though everything's going to be in the right place, we need to get them lined up correctly. I'm just going to start taking these off. Oh my gosh, this thing is on here so tight. See, someone's definitely been here before, because these are painted red, which is not how they normally are. But I don't know if they've taken it off or not, but it's on there extremely tight. Ah, there we go. Woo! Right, okay, that was good. That worked out at the end. There we go. Second one. So tell the difference between them. This one's got a longer stalk. This one's got a shorter one. And then the little baby one right here. Hopefully this is not going to be super hard. The smaller ones tend to be the hardest, but there we go. Right, that was not fun, but we've got them off, which is the important part. So from here now, just need to look at removing the backing plate. So just need to bit by bit separate the white. Right, now it looks like there's these little tabs on the sides as well. Oh, okay, so inside on these corners, we've got these little tabs that we also need to push in. Gosh, this is super awkward to do, but just gotta get it done. There we go. Oh, so there was a little tab just in here that you also have to lift up later on. But there we go, we've gotten everything off pretty much. Now from here, we've just got to disconnect a couple of these guys. So we've got to disconnect these ribbons just here. Just, you know, pull that back. We should be able to just slide out the ribbon. Same just over here. There we go. Should be able to again. Don't need to apply too much pressure to this, but just gently pull these out. There we go. A couple of tabs holding this in place. And voila. We do have the button over here as well for the reset, which just keep in the right position. Move that off to the side. Right, there we go. We've got the main board here now. We're seeing all of these little LEDs. These are going all the way across. So now that we've gotten to this point, bring this part right down to the bottom. And with a Sharpie, we just need to mark where this lines up with. So I'm just going to draw a line on this side and a line on this side. So now I know that that needs to line up literally right into that spot. So when I'm looking at it, it needs to be right there. Now I can look at lifting this up. So just gotta gently prise this white clip up. Guys, this is one of those things you just want to do it slow and steady, because it's better to do that than rush it. There we go. Lift that clip up. Undo this coil. Now we've just got to lift this whole piece up again. And just like you do with the needles earlier, we've just got to prise this whole thing up. Try not to let this unwind too much. Be careful, because underneath there are certain solders that you just want to be careful of. But we can get underneath here. I'm trying to do all of this on camera, but it is not fun. It is not fun with all the extra pressure. Ooh, there we go. Right, been able to pop that off. As we saw, this did loop around once and then go back in, but keep that off onto the side. Happy days. So now we've got access to the LEDs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are all 3528. So I'm just gonna need to unsolder them and then resolder on the new ones. Just gotta do these ones only, and yeah, should be all good fun. Now we've got the fun part of soldering. Got the digital control for the temperature of the actual end. So it's a pretty good soldering iron. I'll leave a link for it in the description down below. But right, I always like to, I think this is called tinning. So from here now, I've got a few different tweezers here depending on which one's easiest to use. So on this one, top right is the corner where we've got the little slit. Now just need to remove that. This is a very awkward job to do, but if you just take your time with it, we'll be able to just remove these solders. I hope to capture this nicely on camera, but you literally just gotta go against the two soldering points, just warm them up to the point where you can bend and move the light. Then you should be able to just lift it off, but it's a little bit awkward. There we go. Voila. So that's the first one off. And just smooth out the soldering points over here. And as we know, the top right over here is where the little ridge needs to be. So the LEDs will come in a little vial like this. I'll send you a link for where I got these from. So what we've got to do is basically just take one out. I'll insert a picture of what I mean about the corners. So we know this will need to sit here roughly. I do like to add a really small amount of solder, ideally extra, to these points, because it just makes adding the new LED a little bit easier. There we go. There is one. There is two. Now I'm just going to go around and do the same thing with all of these others. So the top right just over here, and just basically change over the LEDs and get this looking as good as I can. And here we are with the LEDs all changed up. Funnily enough, the more of them I did, the better I got with it. So I ended up going back and redoing the first one and stuff. But yeah, everything is all sorted now. Time to put this all back together. Just line this one back up. If you notice, what just happened there is as I put it in, it must not have been in the right place. So now the end point is over here, which is not right. So I need to take this one back off. Gosh, I hate taking that thing off. Right, twist it all the way to the end. Slightly not in the right place, so taking it back out. It's important to get this part lined up correctly because you don't want to be having the speedo reading incorrectly. There we go. That's good now. I wanted to show you all how this ribbon basically looks when it goes back in. That's how you need to get it to look at the end. Super awkward to do. Right, bit by bit we can put everything back together now. And when putting it back together, this is how you want the ribbons to look. And once you get it back to this point, I'd highly recommend testing it, checking everything still works right, and then putting everything else back together, like the needles and the fascia and stuff. So as you'll see now, perfect. That's literally how we want it all to look. So just disconnect it and get this back all together. And we are done. So yeah, finished up now. Time to put this back into the car. Don't have the screws for the back of it, unfortunately, because again, whoever's done these red dials did not put the screws back on, which wasn't smart, but should be all right. And that's how it looks all finished up. Right, time to get this all screwed up and finish up with the ambient lighting next. And that is the car all completed. And I've added a new feature on for this car, which is touch sensitive controls for the colors. So just over here, if you just tap, you'll be able to change all of the modes. It's kind of funny being able to do this, but yeah, there you go. It's a nice new little feature for the Symphony options. Can't really tell it's done, but there it is, looking all nice and white. Right, if this is something interesting for you guys and you want to get it done to your car, please hit me up on Instagram, email, or hopefully my website will be up and running so you can book yourself directly and through there. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and maybe even a super thanks. That would always be appreciated. Show your support. But anyway guys, peace out. Bye.